Welcome to this joint session from IBM, SUSE and ZUTOM about how to deploy a SAP for HANA environment in IBM Cloud on Power Systems within 60 minutes. During our session, we will present an overview about IBM Power Systems and more specific about IBM Power Systems Virtual Server, our cloud solution for Power. Then we will talk about SUSE Terraform and Salt Automation project. Then we do an introduction about SAP S/4HANA deployment with the Site 1 wizard. And afterwards, we will give a presentation or a product demo about the wizard, where we see that everything comes together. My name is Tonny Bastiaans. I'm Worldwide Product Manager for Power Virtual Server, shortly Power Virtual Server. I'm here with my co-host, Mike Friesenegger, who is Solution Architect at SUSE, and with my other co-host, Michal Koza, who's Partnership Manager about SUSE at ZUTOM. Let's start with the introduction about an overview of Power Virtual Server and a more wider discussion about Power Systems and why it's good for SAP HANA. IBM Power Systems allow customers to accelerate and simplify deployments of SAP workloads. This brings economic value towards our customers. Let's dive a little bit deeper on that one. Due to the structure and the performance of IBM Power Systems, customers can provide SAP workloads faster on IBM Power Systems than on other platforms. Within the built-in virtualization capabilities of IBM Power servers, customers can provide what they need and scale up or down when workloads grow or shrink, and pay only what they use. This has to do with the built-in virtualization capabilities of Power Systems, where you really easy can scale up, create a bigger LPAR if needed, shrink your LPAR if the dependence on workloads is needed. And this same capacity, what we have on-prem, we also are able to deploy on Power Virtual Server, our cloud offering for Power Systems. So you really only pay what you use, and that it brings, of course, value towards to you as customer. In this 24/7 economic, it's very important that your systems are up and running always. With Power Systems, we have a track record that proves that we are able to deliver that capabilities, and it has to do also with the whole design of our product from the bottom up, from the core, from the processor, with everything in mind and everything that we design around the processor, the whole server, but also our virtualization layer is designed and built with maximized uptime in our mind. And this is also stated towards our customers. We are already in the past 13 years in a customer research by iTech that we are on top of the maximum uptime availability there. Also, it is important in this economic phase where we are in, that you get fast insight on your data. What is really happening in your company? Our power processors are able to deliver fast insight on your data. And not only the processor is fast, but the whole system built around it is fast. It is able to access memory fast, and certainly in a HANA environment, that is important due to the fact that if you have a big and fast memory pool, you have to get that information out as fast so that you get that insight fast on your data. And that is important. And that same structure that we have on premise in our Power Systems, where we are known for everything, we have that also in our Power Virtual Server, in our cloud solution. And of course, very important, this whole cloud solution is certified by SAP also. And we are not only as IBM saying this, that is, we are delivering good stuff. We have also customers who stated the same, as you can see on the bottom of this page. IBM Power Systems provides rock solid reliability for our clients' mission critical SAP applications. With Power and Power VM, that is our virtualization capabilities, on top of it, we are able to react very fast on different customer demands. So that our customer statements who are working with Power and an HANA environment on top of that. And let's dive a little bit deeper on Power Virtual Server, our cloud solution, how that works and what extra value it can bring to you as customer. One big differentiator for Power Virtual Server towards other Power providers is that we are available in 15 data centers across the globe. So not only in Europe or in America, but through the whole globe, we have data centers where Power Virtual Server is located. And we see that it is recognized by more and more customers. We have now already more than 300 customers, and that amount is growing. And we see that customers develop dev and test use cases on our solution, also use it for HRDR, but also the whole production is moved to Power Virtual Server, where they really say, okay, it brings value to me to bring my workload towards Power Virtual Server. Of course, it's very important when you do that and you trust a cloud provider that it is certified by the workload that you run on it. And our Power Virtual Server is certified by SAP, which is very important. Besides the certification, compliance is also very important in this area. We are GDPR, LGP compliant, ISO 27000, HIPAA, SOC 1 and SOC 2 compliance is in place. So you see that the whole stack, what we deliver, is bringing value towards customers in global expansion, compliance, certified. So what we see is that the enterprise architecture that our customers are used to have on-premise, we deliver that same enterprise architecture also in our cloud environment. So the certified on-premise architecture with the same processor, the same firmware, same Power Virtual VM environment that we have, and of course the setup of a dual FIOS that you are used to have on-prem, we implemented that also in our data centers in our cloud solution. So you really have a seamless connection to on-prem and off-prem and with the same capabilities where Power Systems are known to. And if we then do benchmark testing, we really saw that Power Systems Virtual Server in E980, where we run it on, are on top of the most powerful sub-certified servers via an IaaS solution. So we really are very proud on this benchmark that we are ranked in first. So you really see that we deliver a good, rock solid environment that is also fast, that gives you the insight that you need. With this great benchmark, I will stop and will hand it over to Mike to take us to the next part of our presentation. Mike, over to you.
Thank you, Tony. In this section, I will overview the Terraform and Salt Automation open source project created by SUSE that takes advantage of the Power Virtual Server infrastructure provided within IBM Cloud. Terraform describes infrastructure in code and then is able to deploy the infrastructure that has been described, defining the storage needed, making network connections, and starting instances using a particular image are some of the key Terraform capabilities. It is also possible to make changes to the deployed infrastructure that may be needed to be changed over time. Terraform works great with public cloud providers like IBM Cloud and equally as well for on-premise deployments. The net result is that the infrastructure description written in Terraform code can be version controlled, shared, and reused, which is critical for this SUSE automation project. SALT is a configuration management system. A SALT state declares in code a specific configuration, and then the state is applied to individual systems, also known as minions. SALT state functions are what do the work in the SALT states. Functions are available to install and configure applications, create users, distribute files, and about anything else that needs to be done when setting up your systems, including executing commands on the system. Like Terraform, The system configurations defined in SALT can be version controlled, shared, and reused, which is important for our automation project. Combining Terraform and SALT in the SUSE automation project has been an effort that was started with and is now being used by several public cloud providers that SUSE works with. The automation includes the ability to deploy SAP HANA and SAP NetWeaver, either as single nodes or in a clustered configuration, along with open source monitoring, which is based on Prometheus and Grafana. Terraform within IBM Cloud for IBM Power Virtual Servers provides the same capabilities that have been developed with other public cloud providers. Today, the automation with PowerVS focuses on SAP HANA deployments. The automation is easily customized using a Terraform variables file. It is easy to switch between a single or clustered SAP HANA deployment. SAP HANA System Replication and SUSE Linux Enterprise High Availability will be automatically installed and configured when the clustering is enabled in the Terraform file. A shared storage volume will also be deployed, providing disk-based fencing. The storage layout for the SAP HANA installation is easy to change depending on your storage requirements. The preferred network configuration is to use a public subnet with a jump host and connect the SAP HANA instances to a private subnet. With this configuration, the SAP HANA deployments are more secure because they're not directly connected to the internet. The configuration can be easily changed so that the HANA deployment is connected directly to the public subnet and directly on the internet, if your configuration needs that. IBM's Cloud Object Storage will store the SAP HANA installation archive. SALT copies and extracts the archive on the nodes before starting the hands-off SAP HANA installation. Organizations can use the IBM Cloud provided images of SLES for SAP or can upload custom-built images that can be deployed by the automation. Here is a high-level architecture that describes the components within the automation. Let's start at the bottom and work up. The blue signifies the components that are provided by the SUSE Terraform and SALT open source project. Terraform is responsible for communicating with IBM Cloud to provision each Power Virtual Server. This includes the network connections and storage provisioning. The operating system is an available SLES for SAP image in IBM Cloud for Power Virtual Server that is deployed to the operating system disk for each PowerVS instance. The OS preparation is where Terraform passes control to SALT after installing the SALT minion. SALT takes care of everything needed before starting the HANA installation. The green in the architecture are components that are included in SLES for SAP applications. SALT installs the required RPM packages and goes about installing and configuring SAP HANA along with the HA clustering if it was enabled in the Terraform variables file. The SALT automation is included in SLES for SAP and fully supported. You will need to start with LPARS manually installed with SLES for SAP. Using the SALT automation is documented at the link at the bottom of this page. If you want to try the Terraform components as well, the Terraform and SALT components are available in the GitHub project on this page. There are more capabilities that we plan to enable and test with the automation in the future. This includes automating the creation of Power Virtual Server subnets, deploying open source monitoring, deploying S/4HANA and NetWeaver components. A future enablement is to take what has been done with PowerVS and IBM Cloud and also bring this automation to on-premise customers using IBM Power VC. So I hope this deeper dive into how SUSE uses Terraform and SALT has been helpful and shows you how you can save valuable time in your SAP HANA deployments for PowerVS and IBM Cloud. As an open source project, anyone can use and contribute to this project. The team at ZUTOM has taken and incorporated this automation. And I'll hand the presentation off to Michael of ZUTOM so he can explain what the ZUTOM team is doing. Michael, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Now, let me introduce you all to the simplified deployment of S/4HANA environment thanks to ZIBE1 Wizard. For those who don't know us yet, I will do a quick introduction on ZUTOM first. We have been in the business for 26 years as a service provider, and we specialize in operation of business-critical applications. We became the first globally certified cloud center certified by SAP for operation of Business One. This year, we are celebrating an 10-year anniversary of cooperation with SAP. And when it comes to IBM, it's not our first cooperation either. We have been testing PowerVS already back in 2015, and at the time it was also for SAP Business One. Right now, we are working on automated S/4HANA environment deployment on PowerVS in IBM Cloud. To do that, we are using our automation platform, ZIBE1, as a backbone. So, what is ZIBE1? This is our own development that we have created in-house, and we have been fine-tuning it for the past 5 years. It simplifies the entire operation of SAP Business One thanks to standardization, self-service, and vast automation. Over the time, we managed to automate over 200 different features and business processes, which enable our partners and customers to significantly save time and money. We are using the same principles to build the automation for the SAP S/4HANA. Having said that, let me introduce our Wizard prototype. The goal of this tool is simple. Accelerate the customer's journey to S/4HANA environment, automate the whole process to around 1 hour, and enable it for non-expert users. We're only cooking with the best ingredients. We chose IBM Cloud for its high scalability, IBM Power for being the most reliable and powerful infrastructure, SUSE with the innovation tools and the modernization approach, and ZIBE1, which does the orchestration and automation behind it all. This solution comes with some great benefits. First of all, the automation takes care of everything. You just simply fill up the quick form and sit back and watch your environment being created. It is fast, so you can deploy quicker. It simplifies the entire process in a big way. You don't need to be an expert on IBM Cloud. You don't need to worry about all the options. This wizard is made for non-techies, and it effectively guides you through the whole process, avoiding errors. And in the end, this has positive impact on TCO as well, because you don't need that many IT experts and there is less infrastructure involved. Key wizard features. You just complete the 6 simple steps. Minimal knowledge of IBM Cloud or technical knowledge is needed. And basically the solution takes care of the correct sizing and automatically aligns with SAP and IBM best practices. Without further ado, let me do a quick demonstration and show you the wizard. Of course, we don't want to be here for the whole hour, so we recorded the process, which allows me to speed up the video, and that way we can showcase everything in just a few minutes. I will be guiding you through, pointing out what's going on. We will start with filling up the form, and then we show 2 split screens. On the left side, you will see our portal, and on the right side, you will see what happens in IBM Cloud interface at the same time. Okay, we start in our portal by creating customer. Just provide a name and country, and then simply pick the available SAP S/4HANA offering. This will take you to the wizard. Step 1. Just choose new or existing customer. If new, you can choose their industry. Next, you choose where you want your data to be hosted. I choose London. You can either start on Greenfield, or in case you already have an existing QuickSizer report, you can drag and drop here. Next, you choose BV HANA or S4 HANA and other basic specs. If you are unsure at any point, you can default to recommended configuration and just simply leave the sizing to us. Next, just choose if you need the test environment or dev environment or both, and confirm. Next, you can choose if any optional services are needed, and that's pretty much everything that we ask. On the next slide, you get the summary page where you can reconfirm everything, and just with the click of the button, you can start the process. There is the secondary confirmation, so you have to confirm it twice. You click agree, and now the magic happens. Once it's done, you can see the progress bar in our task manager, which is tracking the current status. And now we are going to the split screen with the IBM Cloud interface on the right side. As you can see, the processes are already running. Power resources are currently being created directly in IBM Cloud, and this will be dedicated to the customer with their specific name. Okay, right now the SUSE image /for SAP is being created, and in a few moments this will be used for creating all the virtual machines. We have the public and the private networks that we create, and next we develop and deploy the servers. We start with Bastion, and then all the networks and internal and public networks are being added to that. Okay, next step, we create instance. Everything is done on SAP certified t-shirts for HANA, so everything is certified. Okay, now the virtual servers for HANA are being created. Number 1 and HANA number 2. And on the left, we can still track the percentage and see the progress. After infrastructure deployment, we start to install and set up HANA. And after this, we set infrastructure for SAP application. We fast forward again a little bit, and we are almost done. Okay, everything is almost installed and ready. And done. Yep, as you can see, everything is now installed, and you're able to externally connect to Bastion and start working with the infrastructure. And in our portal, you have the overview where you can find all the details and information about your environment, so you can also keep track of everything and you get the complete management of the environment through our portal. Okay, thank you very much for following the process with me. Our project is developing very fast, so if you are interested to see more, be sure to check out our site, zype.1/s4hana, where you can learn more information and follow our progress. Thank you very much.